Okay. So it's an opportunity for us to, thank you, mommy. It's an opportunity for us to just sit down and strategize on how we want our year to be like or to play out, right? Now, thankfully, thank you, mommy. Thankfully, we have the opportunity. Wait, I just wanted this to show. Sorry about that. Let me just confirm why this is a problem. Sorry. Okay, I think I can share my screen now. Yes. So welcome everybody to the Diary info session. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Like I said, it's the beginning of the year and it's an opportunity for us to sit down and plan how we want our year to play out. Now, I know that you came into this session expecting, I promise you it is value packed. I promise you that the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours of your time will not be a waste. You leave the session happy and enriched from what you have gotten from the session. The sake of things, I would love to do some housekeeping. I'd love to meet the people who I'll be sharing the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours with. So in the chat box, just your name and where you're joining from and what you expect from the session. So your name, where you're joining us from, and what you expect from the session. So I'll just be checking the session so I can welcome the people whose names I'm seeing. No one? Hello? No one? I'd love to meet the people I'm on the session with. Hello?
We replied on the chat. The reply
Oh,
is
sorry
on the
about
chat.
that. Sorry about that. I didn't see that. Hi, Jessica, joining from. Thank you so much. I want to, okay, I expect to understand. Sorry about that. I expect to understand what this session is all about, to be honest. Don't worry. As we go on, you will understand. Hi, Ali from UK. Hi, or Olaolua. I think I pronounced your name correctly, from Birmingham. Hi, Falila from Liverpool. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name very well. I want the session to be informative. Okay. Hi, Nonso from London. Hi, Timmy Billions. Okay, very interesting name. Timmy Billions joining from Scotland. Hi, Christine joining from Canada. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Tulu. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Like I said, it's a pleasure to share this session with you. Now, before we start again, I would love us to do something, which is, if you know anybody who will benefit from this session, kindly share the link with them, whether it's a friend, a colleague, a neighbor, a family member, just share the link with them. If you know anybody that can benefit from this session, share the link with them so that they too get to hear what you get to hear, because promise me, like I mentioned earlier, it is value packed. That is, this session is value packed. It's the beginning of the year, and I'm going to share with you the resources and the strategies that you need to set yourself up for failure, set yourself up for success. Sorry about that. So, hi, Ibokun Olua. It's a pleasure to have you on the call. So, you know what? Let me change something. Okay. Let me just change something. So whilst I'm trying to change this, please share this link with anybody who you know can benefit from the session. Sorry about that. Okay. So it should come up now. Okay. See if I'm here. So I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm trying to change my network provider so that we can have a smooth session. Okay. So let's just go on. So once again, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Now I know that I've met some people in the chat message, and most of you said you want to know what the session is about. You're expecting to learn more from the topic. And guess what? Like I mentioned earlier, you're definitely going to get that. You're definitely going to get that. Now, if you're joining this evening, I want to assume that you've applied for a job before, or you are thinking of applying to opportunities in the coming year. And if you've done your research, one major roadblock that many job applicants face is the experience roadblock. And it is quite devastating. You're expected to have maybe UK work experience or Canadian work experience or experience as a whole. And you think about it, you have spent a fortune to maybe get a certification, or you spent a fortune to get a master's degree, and instantly it feels needed experience. So this is a big challenge, but guess what? There are many people, immigrants, who have relocated from their home country and who were once in your shoe. They didn't have any experience, but they were able to land themselves a role. Sorry, I think I'm here getting an echo. Let me mute everybody. So I'm going to mute everybody on the session. Sorry. Yeah, so that I don't get that echo back. So you hear of immigrants who, they were once like you. They came into the country, they didn't have any experience, but guess what? They've been able to land themselves roles. What did they do differently? It is strategy. And that is the strategy that I will be sharing with you this evening, or rather, some of the strategies, right? So this session is brought to you by Amdari. Experience that hiring managers expect you to have as a job applicant. Now, the way we help you accomplish this, or the way we help you to get this experience, is through our work experience program. When you join the work experience program, you'd have the opportunity to select a program in data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, project management, SOC, ethical hacking, and GRC. So we also have DevOps, we have cloud security, and we have product design. Don't mind that I haven't included it on this slide, but those are also part of the programs that we offer. Now, when you come in, you select a program of interest, and you will now be assigned to a cohort. In that cohort, you work closely with an expert in the field. So if you're coming into a program like data analysis, you work closely with a data analyst expert who has more than 5 years of experience or almost a decade of experience in the program you're coming in for. Or if you're coming in for data science, it's the same thing. You're going to be working closely with an expert who has many years of experience. Now, you're going to be working on projects, but beyond the projects you work on, you also have the opportunity to learn from their wealth of experience. Now, these experts you'll be working with will also be the people who will administer the projects to you. They will be the people who you get to ask questions if you have any challenge. They are the people who, in fact, they're your first line of contact with Amdari whenever you have a challenge. So they are here to walk the journey with you. They will be there 24/7 whenever you need them, right? Now, the whole reason why Amdari came to be was the experience issue. We noticed that gap, and it's a gap that we are trying to fill up, right? Or it's a gap that we are filling up, not trying to fill up. And we are bridging the gap between your learning and your earning. We want to break that loop off. You keep learning and learning because you feel like you're not getting an opportunity because you've not learned enough. But guess what? sometimes what you need is not extra learning. What you need is extra hands-on, right? Now, Amdari is co-founded by three powerhouses. And we have Adeza Suleiman, we have Efemina Ipro, and we have Omomi Victoria Sampson. Now, for Adeza, he's a technology expert with more than a decade of experience. And in his time, he has been able to found two companies, that is Tenalytics and Amdari. And through the work that he does in these companies, he has been able to help more than 2,850 people land their first tech job. That is, he took them, or rather, he guided them from they don't have any tech experience, going through that journey to landing their first tech job across UK, Canada, the US, and other parts of the world. Now, Adeza has worked across various sectors like sports, financial sector, the energy and automobile sector, and you name it. Currently, he resides in Alberta, Canada with his family. The next co-founder we have here is Efemina Ipro. Now, Efemina is a data powerhouse, right? He has worked across all the data ecosystems, that is data analytics, data science, data engineering. And he also co-founded Tenalytics and Amdari. And he has also helped over 2,500 people make their transition into tech and land their first tech job with absolutely no experience or no background in tech. Now, for Efemina, he has worked across the financial sector, logistics, supply chain, health tech, edutech, FMCG, to mention but a few. And he also resides in Alberta, Canada, right? The next person we have is Omomi Victoria Sampson. So Omomi is a technology and business executive, and currently she serves as the co-founder and chief technology and business officer for Amdari. Now, there's no better way to describe Omomi than the strategy woman. She's the person who creates systems to ensure that everything flows seamlessly. Now, one thing about Omomi is that she's passionate about using technology to solve real problems, not make-believe problems, not problems just to have fun. She wants to solve real problems, real business problems, real problems that can help humanity at scale, right? Now, when we started the session, I had asked some of you to, introduce yourself, and I got to meet a lot of amazing people in the chat box. I digitally meet you. Now, courtesy demands that I equally introduce myself. So my name is Christiana, and I am a growth and revenue operations specialist. For more than a decade, or rather for almost half a decade, I have worked on projects that are focused strictly on helping to reskill the future across sectors in health, in media, in GRC, to mention but a few. Currently at Amdari, I help drive sustainable growth, and I also help professionals like yourself make the transition from no tech, or rather no experience, to landing their first job. So I guide you through that journey. Sorry, let me just drink water. I'm a bit chapped. Let me just drink water. Ooh. Sorry about that. Yeah. So this evening, what we're going to talk about? Now, we are going to look at why certifications are no longer enough. If you want to maybe make your transition into your tech journey, the first thing that you will think about is to go and do your research. And many times you will see, okay, you need CISSP or CISM or PMP or Print2. You see those certifications there. But when you finally get those certifications, you get the training, and then you decide to go into the job market, you quickly realize that it's not the same thing. That's not the reality, right? So we are going to see why this happens. Why are certifications no longer enough, right? We are also going to see the trust gap between recruiters and why they do not give you the opportunity to land your role, why they don't even give you the listening ears, why you get that, oh, unfortunately, we can't go with you, or unfortunately, this happened. Now, we are also going to be looking at a 5-step framework of how you can build a portfolio that can get you hired. So once you get the certification, you get the skill, You need to build yourself and then have your body of work that you can make reference to in any interview, in any setting, so that people know that, yes, you're a subject matter expert who has experience in the field. And I'm not just going to stop there. I'm also going to show you how you can, within 4 months, build this body of work and build your portfolio in such a way that you are irresistible to hiring managers. Now, does this sound familiar? You have finished a course or a boot camp, you've gotten a certificate, and now you have applied to multiple opportunities. Every day you could go for 50 opportunities, go for 100, go for 200. I trust you, there are people that do that because you really just want to land a role. Now, despite having your, we decided to proceed with another candidate. If this is something that you have experienced before, kindly give me a thumbs up. And not just a thumbs up, I would love to know in the chat box how you felt when you got that message. Right? Just give me a thumbs up. If this has ever happened to you, you finished the boot camp, you've gotten a certificate, and you're applying to jobs expecting that you should get the opportunity, yet you are met with, unfortunately, in your emails. If this has happened to you, let me say, okay, Team Billions, this has happened, right? Who else? Who else? And if possible, I'd love to know how it made you feel when you saw that message. I'd love to know how it made you feel. You could just drop that in the chat, right? I love an interactive session. Leave the whole fact that we had that initial glitch at the beginning. I love an interactive session. I mean, I want to have fun being here, and I also want you to have an amazing session. So interact with me. Yes, I felt like knowing what made the other person better. Beautiful, Memdara. Thank you so much, Afia. You felt like knowing what made the other person better. Because why not me, right? Why not me? That's the energy you should go with. Why not me? Why the other person? It's not you being selfish, but you've put in the work, so you deserve to be given the opportunity. Why not me? Now, what made the other person better? Like Memdera said, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, right? You get to know about it. Now, the major challenge that many people face in the job market is the no experience, or like I mentioned earlier, you're trying to get opportunities and you can't get them because you don't have any experience. It's like an endless loop. It's an endless loop. Okay, you don't have experience, you don't have UK work experience, you don't have this, you don't have that, and you're wondering, how do I get this experience? How do I get this experience if I'm not given the opportunity? How do I get this experience? It's a classical chicken and egg situation where you need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get the experience, right? So it's a loop that people cannot break through or struggle to break through. And you're just wondering, what exactly can I do? What exactly can I do? How exactly do I break this loop? Because you need to recoup the money you used to take that certification. You need to recoup the money that you used to take that master's program, or you used to pay for that master's program. So you're just wondering, how exactly can I break into the field? And it's quite frustrating, really, if you have a family depending on you, or you have bills that are stacked that you need to clear. So the whole idea that you have all this waiting for you and you do not have any job in sight or any hope of getting it can be quite demoralizing. I think Team Billions, you said something quite profound where you said you were disappointed. Many people feel this disappointment, not just because you didn't get the role, but because you understand the opportunity that having that job could have opened up for you, right? So at the end of the day, when you look at it, hiring managers don't give you the opportunity, not because there's a bias against you, not because of the color of your skin, not because of how you sound, not because of how you look. Many times they don't give you the opportunity because it's a risk they're about to take on you. And they need to be sure that the risk they are taking on you is calculated. They need to be sure that the risk they are taking on you, they can predict your ability to succeed. And guess what? Hiring managers are risk averse. They need to know from looking at you that, okay, this person can do the job from day one. They need to be sure that if they bring you on board, you'll not ruin their reputation, because no hiring manager wants to be known as the hiring manager who keeps bringing candidates that are not fit for the role. And guess what? When a candidate is not fit for the role and they end up getting the role, they cost the company more, because now you have somebody in a role productive hours are being wasted, and you just can't figure out what can I do. In some cases, you can't outrightly fire them because of the laws that protect them. But the mistake has already been made, and this hiring manager has to account for that mistake. So they need to be able to know that they can predict your success. And that's why, if you see on my slide, I said experience is a proxy for predictability. They need to be able to predict the fact that you will succeed, right? Now, they also need to know that you can work without supervision. They don't want to bring a person on the job and then the person ruins everything from day one. So over the week, I saw a very interesting meme where it was like you just got on the job and the first thing you did was to delete the entire company's database as a newbie. It's quite funny looking at it as a meme, but in real life, that is devastating. That is scary for both the business and you as the person who made that mistake. That can destroy your reputation for life, because trust me, hiring managers talk. So if it is known that they brought this candidate and this candidate came to delete their database, hell, I don't think you're getting a job anytime soon, right? So they need to know that such mistakes, you won't make them. And here's the thing. How do you predict your success? It's through working on different projects to give you that experience. And I'd love to share the story of Opeyemi. Now, Opeyemi is the classic story of she went to school, that she did her master's, finished with a distinction, and was quite excited about the job market. Felt like by she felt like by finishing her master's with a distinction, she was unstoppable. She felt like by doing that, there was absolutely no way she would not land a job immediately. But unfortunately for Opeyemi, that was not the case. And I would love you to hear from her what her experience was like, okay? I'd love you to hear from Opeyemi what her experience was like. Okay, this should be Opeyemi, yes. So I'm coming, please. So I want you to hear from Opeyemi what her experience was like. So this is opening up. Okay, so you'll hear from Opeyemi shortly. I'm not going to play the entire video. You'll hear from her shortly. Mm, mm. Please give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. I think I went off for a while. Okay. Okay, you can hear me. So I'm coming. This should play shortly. I had to change my. Okay.
You can actually do it. There's nothing out there that you cannot do. It's been a wonderful time, Kandari. Really.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for giving Sean his flowers. It was
Yes,
so great.
exactly.
And I really
Okay, no, that is not where I want you to. Okay. What is this? Let me try something else.
sessions. Wow. They will build your confidence, tell you you can actually do it. There's nothing out there that you cannot do. It's been a wonderful time, Kandari. Really.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for giving Sean his flowers. It was
Yes,
so great to
exactly.
hear. And I'm really, yes. And I'm really glad that you took that leap of faith. Because you said that you were looking for someone to ask, someone who has gone through the program, but you didn't see anyone. But eventually you still took that leap of faith. And I'm really glad that it paid off. It paid off at the end of the day. So
Yes.
I mean that's why we do what we do at Andari. That's why we're here. And when we hear stories like this of going from being a job seeker to getting the job or becoming job ready, it just further validates everything that we're doing, that indeed we're doing it the right way, indeed people are benefiting from this, and we're really changing lives one career at a time in the best way possible that we can. So I'm really glad to be hearing from you actually. So my last question will be around a specific part of the Amdari internship that gave you an edge during your interview or your application process. So what would you say that specific aspect of this experience is? What gave you an edge?
Okay. Like when I answered the first question, I said when I was applying after my master's, there was no response. You don't even get, unfortunately, you look out for, okay, send me response, but you don't get. But since I've been getting calls from recruiters because the projects we do, from customer segmentation, customer cohort analysis to AI, they are end-to-end projects, and there's no application that I see there, and I will not be able to be like, oh, I can do this. So all the projects, I can't even say one, all of them that I've done in Amdari, they've added to me. They gave me confidence. There's no sector that I don't think I can go into because I've gone through, done energy, we're presently doing health and different parts. So I can't point to one, sincerely. All has been wonderful.
Awesome. Thank
Okay, so I just wanted you to hear what she had to say. Please give me a thumbs up if you captured everything she said in that video. Thank you, Timmy. Thank you to Lulope. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joy, too. Sorry about that. So from what she said, one thing is clear, and that is your first job as a job seeker is to prove you generate value for the company that you are working for. That is your first job. If you can't do that, or if you can't prove that from the first experience that the hiring manager has with you, then I'm sorry, you're not going to get the opportunity because, like I said earlier, hiring managers are risk averse. They do not want to take that chance on you. But here's the problem. Everyone is certified. Everyone claims the same tools. I know how to use Power BI. I know how to use SQL. I know how to use Wireshark. But knowing how to use those tools is good and fine. We expect you to know how to use those tools. But can you execute on real projects, on real business problems? Where is the execution? What have you used your knowledge of those tools to resolve? What issue have you resolved for a business? How much money have you saved for them, right? So this is the problem. Everybody is certified. Everybody claims, oh, I know how to do this. I know how to do that. But how have you used that tool to solve a business problem? And this is how, as a job seeker, if you can just learn how to execute a business problem with the knowledge that you've gotten from any boot camp you did, any training, your master's program, guess what? You are going to stand out from more than half of the people looking for job opportunities out there. So instead of going to go and take more courses or acquire more certifications, you need proof of work. You need to show that, yes, I have worked in this space. I know what I'm doing. I'm not just going to learn how to do this and how to do that without applicability. I know how to work in a new setting without supervision, without help, right? So many times you see that people apply to opportunities, and then when they don't get the opportunity they want, they are frustrated, they are angry, and they feel like, okay, I need to go and take another course. I need to go for another certification. Or some people might even be ready, but they feel like, For me to start applying to jobs, I need to maybe take that certification. I saw on the job board that I need to have CISSP, or I need to have PMP. So I need to gather that money, and then when I have enough money, I will now apply to the opportunities that are out there. Trust me, you don't need more courses, you don't need more certifications. All you need to show the hiring manager is, I have done this work before and I've done it multiple times, and I can help you solve your business problem. So when you look at the knowledge gap and why it seems like, okay, your certificates are not enough, it's simply because when you are, let's say, in school or in a boot camp or in a structured program, you're giving clean data. You're there under supervision. There's that clear instruction of, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to do it. If you make any mistake, you're given a pat on the back and given guidance that you need to retrace your step. So you're not really under any pressure. But in a typical workplace, your data will be messy. Stakeholders can change their mind at any point in time. If you're working on something and your boss will just come in and say, okay, you know what, we are going to change this, or we are not working with this again, or things just change. Even when you go to, let's say, the site, real world, things change instantly. And when things change, it's not I know how to use the skill that gets it done. It is I know how to solve this problem, right? You have tight deadlines. Deadlines will change as quickly as possible. With those deadlines, you need to now show that, see, I know how to use the tools and to solve the business problem because I have that experience. And guess what? Recruiters don't hire for potential. They need to see that you can prove what you can do. It's good that you have potential. It's nice that you have a nice name. But guess what? In the real world, potential is not enough. Potential is not predictable.
Hi, Christiana.
Yeah.
If you're sharing another screen, we can't see it. It's still the testimonial screen.
Oh no. Okay. You should see my screen now. Okay, let me share my entire screen.
We can see it.
Let me share my entire screen so that doesn't happen again. Come in, please. Is my screen still showing?
No, you stopped sharing.
Okay. So this should be fine. I believe you can see my screen now.
Yes, it's coming back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying, so in a typical work environment, things are not predictable. Things change very quickly. And what makes you valuable is your ability to change, adapt as quickly as possible. And that's why hiring managers or recruiters are not hiring for potential. They need to know that you can deliver and deliver on the job. Now, the only question that goes through a hiring manager's mind when they look at your credential is, how soon will this person be useful to the company? If they look at it and they feel like, we will need to train this person for 6 months, we need to guide this person along the way. If they keep seeing signs or symptoms of you need extra training from them, you're a cost, you're a risk that they're not willing to take. Right? But when you show them that, see, I can solve real business problems, you position yourself as an asset to the company. In fact, at the back of the recruiter's mind, they might feel like, can I really hire this person? Can I afford them? Right? So they are grateful that you accepted the salary that they gave you because you have shown them that you are an asset. And guess what? There are many people out there who are looking for a job, but only few people can be an asset to the company that they work with. And one of such people who took himself from, oh, I have the potential, I have the passion, to I am an asset, is Emeka, or rather is Jerry. Now, before Jerry joined Amdari, he actually got interviews. He was always landing interviews. But because he had no relatable experience to share with recruiters, it became a problem. It became a problem. And he will go for the interview, he won't get the opportunity. At some point, he had to ask for feedback. And the hiring manager that he asked thankfully responded to him and said, see, I've never seen anybody as passionate about data as you, but we can't understand what you're saying, and that's why we can't go with you. I'm not just going to have you hear me say it. Let's hear Jerry talk about how his experience was like. So this is Jerry and how his experience was.
Hello, Christiana. So there's no audio.
Sorry?
There's no audio, no audio. You need to stop and share again.
Okay. Sorry about that. I thought the audio was there. Let me share that again.
Right. So congratulations once again, Jerry, on landing the data analyst role in the UK.
Thank you, Mom.
So it doesn't.
Okay.
So yeah, so before I'm Dari, right, I'd like to know, because this is like something that most newbies in tech, people transitioning into tech face, right? It's a very familiar challenge, which is the struggle of, the biggest struggle pretty much of a newbie. So I'd like to know essentially what was the biggest struggle you faced, or the biggest challenge trying to land a job in tech or trying to transition into tech newly?
Okay. So thank you very much for that question, Mom. So well, for me personally, and to be honest, so the biggest challenge that I would say that I had at that time was relatable experience. Like, of course, I know that a lot of people don't have experience, but mine is just experience that interviewers can relate to. That's what I never had at that time and all of that. Yeah. So because back forward to Hamdari, so of course I did a couple of some analysis, but not industry related analysis. They were in the academia. And I could remember that a couple of interviews that I attended, and then one of the interviewers told me that he has never seen anybody as passionate as I was when it comes to data, because I spoke at length. But all the project I was given, they could not relate to it. Like they were lost, because these were analysis that I did when it comes to environmental data. This is someone coming from environmental studies, and all the project I was giving them the environmental data, so they couldn't relate to it. So for me, so even when it comes to applying, so one thing I realized that I didn't have at that time was experience that recruiters could relate to, industry experience, and that was actually the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And
So that was Jerry's problem before Amdari. Now let's take a look at what happened after he joined. Now he sends this amazing message to his coach and he says, just wanted to officially let you know that I've landed a data analyst role within the civil service, and it's a level promotion too. I was asked to prepare a presentation on any data analysis project. I edited and submitted our first project. It saved me a lot of time and gave me confidence. Now, the first project that Jerry worked on was enough for him to reach out to recruiters, talk about it, make reference to it, catch their attention, and land the role. The first project. He still goes on to say, also spoke about the SQL project when they asked about data acquisition. So he says, thank you so much for your mentorship and all that. But you get to see that just having that hands-on project, for Jerry, it was the first project he worked on, the first practical project he worked on that he made reference to. So just having, no matter how little it is, that practical experience is sufficient to capture the attention of recruiters or hiring managers, because it shows them or it tells them that this is a subject matter expert that we could take that chance on. We could take that chance on you. We could take that leap of faith with you. Now, you may need to make that shift from, oh, trust me, I can get the job done. Trust me, I have potential. Trust me, I have passion. Trust me, I know how to make use of this tool. I know how to make use of the other tool. Trust me. You need to shift from trust me to see what I have done. Interestingly, when you have the see what I have done attitude, you use lesser words, right? So the old way is, I'm a hard worker, I know SQL, I'm going to work on the job. They don't know, they've not seen any proof. They don't know if they bring you on board, if you come and blow up everything or change their entire system. But when you step into the interviewing room and you say, hello, so here's what I have done with SQL. I used my knowledge of SQL to solve a logistics backlog. In this case, they don't need to trust you. They can see what you have done. They have eyes to see, so they can see what you have done, and they can instantly tell that, okay, this person is the person we should go with. And I'm going to throw a question to the house. Which is, imagine you are not feeling well and you are taken to the hospital. When you get to the hospital, you're presented with two doctors, Dr. Ken and Dr. Mark. Now, for Dr. Ken, he has a perfect distinction. He has 0 surgeries. He just graduated. He graduated with an honors, but he's very passionate. In fact, it was his passion that saw him through medical school, but he has no experience whatsoever with any patient. Then you now have Dr. Mark. Now, when Dr. Mark finished from medical school, he did not finish with a distinction, but he passed and he became a doctor. For the last decade, Dr. Mark has worked and he has built experience. He has dealt with life and death situations, and he has made the right call. If you were in that situation, which of these physicians will you go with? So I'm going to check the in-call message now. Let me stop sharing so I can see the in-call message. I'm going to check the in-call message, and I want to know, between Dr. Mark and Dr. Ken, who are you going with, the person with experience or the person with passion? Let me get that from the call message. No audio. Okay, this should have been in the past, right? So I'd love to know, will you go with the doctor that has experience, or you go with the doctor that has passion? Hello? The one with experience. So Tolulope says you go with the one with experience. I'll definitely go with the one with experience. Bakara, you say you go with both of them. Why? So King says you go with the experienced doctor, right? So it depends on the job opportunity. So for Victor, the job opportunity is you're in a critical situation and you've been driven to the hospital rather, and now these two doctors are on standby. Your loved one has to pick which of them they'll go with. So that job opportunity now, who will you go with? So Bernard says with experience. Ibokun, please permit me to call you Ibokun, says definitely the doctor with experience. Abigail says I'll give both of them a chance. Interesting. So Olukunle says Dr. Mark, the one with experience. Sam should even put it in caps lock, meaning he's shouting. The one with experience is definitely the person I am going for. And to be very honest, that's also the same person I'll go with, because this person has made the mistakes in the past. I'm not their first guinea pig, right? It's not me that you're going to forget needle in my stomach and say, oh, I just got on the job and I was passionate about it. I'm happy that you have passion, but work on somebody else. Avoid me, right? So it's the same thing. And the interesting thing that has just happened now, for everybody that responded, you just, for a brief moment, stepped into the shoes of a recruiter, of a hiring, and you just assessed who you will go with. You didn't care that Dr. Ken has graduated with a distinction or has passion. You didn't care about that. At that point in time, at that critical point in time, what mattered to you the most is your life. And that was determined by Dr. Mark. You knew that if I go with Dr. Mark, the probability of me succeeding or of me coming out of this clinic is higher. You've never worked with any of them. You don't know their methodology. You know their track record, which is what I just laid out for you. And with that track record, you could just attest, you could predict your level of success or the level of you coming out of that hospital successful. So it's the same thing. So at the end of the day, you need to stop waiting to be chosen and start proving that you are valuable with a winning portfolio. Now, what is a portfolio? It's simply a documented history of business problems you have solved. Over time, you have solved different business problems and you have been able to carefully document them, keep them in place so that anybody that's interested in working with you can see what you have done. For instance, if you want to maybe get your clothes done, you simply go to the tailor shop and say, kindly show me samples of what you've done in the past. And if you don't ask them, maybe you go and check their Instagram page to check, okay, what have they done in the past? Are they good? Are they okay? Can I go with them? In fact, from their portfolio, you can even see maybe some inspiration about some styles you want to go with. So it's the same thing with the portfolio with the portfolio that you're working with. It's simply a documented history of business problems that you have solved. But here's the thing, portfolios cannot be anyhow. You can't just decide, I'm just going to do my portfolio anyhow. I'll just document and list out the tools I know how to use, list out when I use them, put the date and time and all that, put the company name. So here's the thing that nobody will tell you. No matter the kind of company you put on your portfolio, if you don't show the business problem or how you solve the business problem in that portfolio, nobody will go with you. They'll look at the portfolio and they'll just skip to the next person because you're not really convincing them that you are the right candidate for the job. Now, I want us to look at a five-step framework to help you easily create a portfolio for yourself. I love using frameworks because it just helps you adapt, right? It helps you adapt in any situation you find yourself. So even if you have to switch to another career, you can just simply adapt using those frameworks because it's there. Now, the first thing that you should do when you're creating a portfolio is, I've said it many times, but pick a business problem. You must pick a business problem, a real business problem. And trust me, if you can solve an expensive problem, you are an asset to recruiters. Now, when I say an expensive problem, I'm not saying, okay, you need to know how to build the next rockets that will go into Mars. No, a true business problem, an expensive business problem could be a company is struggling to get payments. They're struggling to get payments. And because they are struggling to get payment, they are losing clients. That is an expensive problem. Now, with your knowledge of data analytics or with your knowledge of coding, you're able to create a platform that helps them overcome that problem. That is an expensive business problem. And guess what? When you solve expensive business problems, you get rewarded handsomely. You get rewarded really, really handsomely. So expensive business problems, just reiterate, could be problems associated with money. So if you see a problem that is affecting people from getting their money, it's an expensive business problem. A problem like processes, people cannot be onboarded, it is an expensive business problem because it still ties back to money. So your project titles, when you're putting your project titles, it should not be, oh, I know how to use SQL. No, it should be, I used SQL to solve this business problem, or I use data analytics, that's my knowledge of data analytics, to predict that this will happen and that will happen and to improve customer satisfaction. So instantly when they see that, it triggers their attention. Hiring managers want to see, this person said this. Let me see, what more have they done, right? Now, the next thing is you have picked your problem. What was broken? You need to understand what was broken. Earlier, I spoke about the fact that an expensive business problem is any problem. This is not exclusively, but any problem associated with money. People cannot receive payments is an expensive business problem that you should solve. It's a problem that if you can notice that gap, you will always cash out, right? So now that you've noticed that people cannot receive money, what exactly is the problem? What exactly is the problem? What exactly are they trying to do? Because if you go on, let's say on Twitter, you hear people talking about the problem all the time. They're talking about, I cannot send money, fine. But what exactly is the problem? Now, you as an expert, you know what the problem is. And because you know exactly what the problem is, you can think of a solution to offer. When you think of the solution to offer, you now talk about the results you created. Now, for instance, looking at the examples I gave here, this company is paying a lot of money to recruit talent. They are paying a lot of money to recruit talent. You noticed this problem, you looked at their processes, and you saw that because they were doing a lot of things manually, it was costing them more. So what did you do as an expert? You sat down and you designed an automated system that helped to filter out applicants as quickly as possible. That's why if you notice, if you apply to an opportunity, you could just get, oh, unfortunately, we are going for another candidate. Many times, it's not a human being sitting down to send you that. It is a machine or a robot or an automated system that has been put in place to filter as quickly as possible and just send you that feedback so that they can move on with other candidates. Now, by doing this, what did you do? You reduce the time to hire by 40%, and you also improve their revenue, because the money that the company would have ordinarily spent on trying to recruit people has been saved because of this solution you created. So when you look at it from the problem, solution, and result perspective, you can see instantly that, okay, this is a candidate that I would want to work with. Now, once you're able to do that, the next thing that should be on your portfolio should be the tools you can use, the tools you can work with, the industry tools you're familiar with. Now, here's the thing. As much as I said that, okay, just saying I know how to make use of SQL is not sufficient, you still need to know how to make use of industry tools. It is important. It is critical that you know how to make use of industry tools, because if you look at a typical job board, they would say, oh, you need to know how to use this tool, maybe Jira, Confluence, ClickUp, SQL, Power BI, or you name it, depending on the industry you're interested in, or the pathway you're interested in. You need to know how to make use of tools. So you need to also list out the tools that you can use. And let me also give you a hint. Sometimes these hiring managers or recruiters are looking at your portfolio. They don't know what it takes to do your job. Trust me, they do not know what it takes to do your job. So by listing these things out, what they are seeing are familiar things. So let's say I'm not a software developer, but let's say I'm a recruiter and I want to recruit for a software development role. What will I do? I'll go and reach out to my friend and say, okay, I'm recruiting for this role. Do you know the skill sets required for this role? And they will tell me. Then when they tell me, I might now go to ChatGPT to find out, okay, what roles is required. I'll still speak to my client or speak to my boss to find out what exactly do you need. But here's the thing. The people that you're speaking to, they know they have a problem, but they don't really know the technicality of the problem they have. They can't really speak in that detail. So what I now have is some things here and there. When I look at your portfolio and I see familiar elements from what I saw during my research, when I checked Google, when I checked ChatGPT, when I had the conversation with my friend, when I spoke with my client, if I can see something familiar in your portfolio, it instantly draws me to you, because I can just assume that, okay, this person is a subject matter expert that I should invite to the table. So that's why it's important to list out the tools that you know how to use in your portfolio. Now, when you're done with that, okay, when you're done with that, you also need, sorry, let me mute everybody. Sorry about that. Right, sorry. So you need to also ensure that your portfolio is easy to scan through. So here's the thing. Many times, hiring managers are under pressure. So they don't have that time to read your portfolio in detail, or your CV even. So you need to ensure that it's easy for them to really pick you out. And how do you do that? You need to have a profile picture, or rather a headshot in your portfolio. Now, you might wonder, a headshot, is that necessary? Is that important? So they may not tell you the standard, but you can look at someone, and if they look trustworthy, if they look really trustworthy, you're drawn to them. For instance, if you look at all the people that they have said have scammed people of money, like what's this guy's name? I'm trying to remember his name. Or I'm trying to remember his name. But if you look at the people that actually scam people of money, look at their profile, you realize that these people look reputable. Their picture, they put in the work to look good, because first impression matters. And you won't have the opportunity to stay in the same space with the recruiter immediately. So having that picture on your portfolio signals to them that, okay, I can trust this person. And not just any picture, a professional picture of you looking smart. Now, your title also matters. Your title matters. How you refer to yourself, what you call yourself. I came to this session and I told you, my name is Christiana. if you see me somewhere else, you would definitely call out and say, "Hi, Christiana," because I told you what my name is Christiana. If I told you my name is girl or my name is child, won't you look at me and do your parents like you at all? And I'm like, I have a name or my name is child. I would look like a serious person. Likewise, it doesn't matter where you are. Call yourself the title for the role that you're gunning for. Position yourself as an expert, as a consultant. It should look like that on your portfolio. See, I know that humility is good, but humility is not good in every setting. Humility is never good in every setting, particularly when you are looking for a job. You need to brag your way into the job, and you brag your way through your portfolio. So your portfolio should stand out as that of a consultant and not a student. Because if your portfolio has, oh, I'm an aspiring business analyst, or I am a project management student, it's good. I'm happy for you that you have decided to take your life seriously. But guess what? I don't want cost. I don't want to have to train you. And because I don't want to have to train you, I'll have to go with another candidate who is an expert in the field, right? So your portfolio has to be smart, and it should be easy for someone to scan through your portfolio as quickly as possible. Now, the last thing that you need on your portfolio is validation. Anybody can claim to do anything. Anybody can say, oh, I have done this in the past, or I can do this. But guess what? Can anybody vouch for you? Recruiters also need people to vouch for you. So it's nice that you've gone for the interview. It's nice that you have experience, but who are with you in the past and can ascertain that, okay, truly this person has the skill set that they claim to have? That's the question. Can they vouch for you? So your portfolio must have that section where there's validation. Okay, you worked for this company. What company is that? So call names. Call names, even if you may not put your reference letter there, but call names. Show proof. Show proof, right? So I put here that a portfolio without a reference is just a claim, and that's the honest truth. How do I know that you can actually do what you claim to do, right? So we have someone like Tony, and let me just play her video. So for Tony, I'm going to play the first 2 minutes, and then I'm going to play the section where she spoke about how the portfolio that she worked on while she was at Amdari opened doors for her, because there were multiple candidates gunning for the opportunity that she was gunning for. But because of the experience she had and the reference letter that she got from Amdari, she was able to stand out. So the experience she had helped her build her portfolio, but even though it got her into the room, it was the reference letter, the validation that she got from Amdari that helped her to finally get into the role that she wanted. So let me just share that screen now. Yeah, let me just share that screen now. Okay, so it should be sharing. Yeah, that's come up. So just be patient with me. Let's hear the first 2 minutes and then the next 15 seconds.
Landing the job as a project manager.
It feels very, very good, and I feel very happy and elated to see that the hard work that I put into the
Please
project.
don't
So what
hear.
specific aspect of the, internship really helped you to ace your interview? Gave you the confidence to also ace your interview?
It's all encompassing basically, because I know even before I came into Amdari doing my internship, I know I started off with Udemy, trying to do project management with them and everything, but it was like they were speaking Spanish to me because it was more like theory. I couldn't really understand, but then coming into practical aspect, it's not just practical, but you have to have a hands-on practical experience. We've had opportunities of sharing our idea of doing presentation, and having to develop projects right from the project charter to Gantt charts to the WBS to racing matrix to the critical thinking to stakeholders and analysis and all those. So it was the practical experience, and then also having to develop the AI chatbots and FinPay project and all those stuff. So it gave me the practical experience that I knew I needed for the role that I'm being prepared for. And then at the interview, I know because of the experience that I've had, because of the practicality of my experience, I was able to, tailor it to meet the interview questions. And then they gave me an idea of what is expected of me. And then I used my practical knowledge to tailor my response to those. And then that was it.
Okay, let's hear her here. Okay.
Using all the technical tools, using all the technical tools that I've learned at Tamdari, using them and all those. So it was pretty good. And then the reference too from your hand was pretty tight, because they actually had to mention it that my references were hair tight, that they were actually considering two people, but my references actually nailed it for me.
Amazing.
So you can hear from Toyin, she had a body of work that she could make reference to, and she didn't just stop at that body of work. She also had referencing. She was not just making a claim, she had validation. So that's the same thing you need in your portfolio. Experience, document it, and then validation, right? So the 5 steps that I mentioned earlier is you need to, one, get a business problem. And the trick is get an expensive business problem. If that's the only thing you should take away from this session, please take that away. Get an expensive business problem. And I did not say rocket science. Just look for a problem associated with people and money. And trust me, money is a universal language, whether it's in Africa, it's in Europe, it's in North America, it's in South America. People do not play with their money, right? So if you can spot a problem that will affect revenue or affect anything, you've hit a pot of gold. Secondly, understand the problem. What exactly is causing that problem? What solution can you prefer? And what results did your solution create? That's the next thing. Lastly, or next is you need to also position yourself as a consultant. Position yourself as a consultant, not as a student, not as I am learning. No, position yourself as a consultant. Take a good picture, put it there, and also see personal branding. You are your billboard, right? Your portfolio is your billboard. And then the tools that you know how to use could also be on your portfolio. And lastly, the referencing, like I've mentioned here. Now, we still have more people that got reference letters from Amdari, as you can see, because we offer you reference letters. And then this is also Renee. So she was able to scale through the interview. She was giving her offer. However, for them to confirm the offer they were giving her, they needed somebody to validate what she claimed to have. So you see why validation is important. Because see, anybody can do anything. Now, there are so many technologies out there that people can be crafty, they are creative. So hiring managers need to be extra careful to make sure that they don't make a mistake in whoever it is they are hiring. Now, looking at everything I listed earlier, where can you get real business problems? Or can you build a portfolio alone? The answer is yes and no. And let's look at the practicality of this. So, can you find real business data? You may, but it's going to be really hard, because who exactly is going to trust you with their data? Data is confidential. If it's in the wrong hand, it could destroy them. If it's in the wrong hand, it could affect their market positioning. So, can you get real business data? The next thing is, can you structure the narrative? Yes, that's actually possible. You can structure the narrative. So if you have the real business data and you can see the problem that they are facing, you can structure a narrative of, okay, this is the problem they faced, this is the solution I profiled, and then this is the impact it had. So it's possible. Now, learning tools, yes, you can learn tools. Absolutely. You can use YouTube to learn tools for free. I'm not even going to call other paid platforms. YouTube, straight up, you can learn for free. Some of these tools also have learn crash courses on their company website. So you can learn those tools for free. Now, building a website, having that portfolio website, can you do it? Yes, you can do it if you have the time and you have the money. So it can be time consuming, really, really time consuming. But let's say by some stroke of luck, you're able to do all this. Who will validate you? Who will give you that stamp of approval? Except it's somebody that knows you very, 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 very well and can trust you, maybe your wife or your child or your brother, right? But who will give you that reference letter? Because here's the thing about reference letters. Beyond the fact that they are giving you a reference letter and they are validating what you can do, they are also putting their reputation on the line. Because if you mess up or you make any mistake on that opportunity or in that position, it goes back to who referred you. But I thought these people referred you, and then instantly they assume that, oh, this person is a liar, or this brand, they lie, or this brand, they are just maybe a scam. So people are very careful with who they refer. So the question now is, how did you get that referral letter? Right? So basically you have two options. The first option is you go and find the data set by yourself. You get the business context. So even if you have the data set, if you don't understand the business context, it's more or less useless, right? You struggle with bugs trying to set up the website because you want to do it on your own, right? You believe that you can do all things. You're the master of your fate, which is good. It's really good. But now, after going through all this stress, you have nobody to review it and you have no reference letter. It is stressful and it's an unnecessary stress that you don't have to go through if you're being honest, which is where Amdari comes to play. So at Amdari, we will give you that structured portfolio. You're supervised with the projects that you're working on because you don't just work on those projects in isolation. You're supervised, you're handheld, you're corrected when you make a mistake. You're also left alone to do the project. So the way Amdari functions is, yes, we hold your hand when we need to hold your hand, but we also leave you at some point to work on your own to see how strong your competence is around the area that you're currently trying to get that experience in. And it's only when we can see that, okay, this person is overwhelmed or this person does not know what to do, then we step in. And you get to work on real business problems and a verified reference letter or referral from us because you have worked with us and we can vouch for your skill sets. Now, this is what that portfolio looks like. I'm just going to show you a sample of the kind of portfolio you get when you join Amdari. So I think, yeah. So this is a sample of the portfolio. The whole idea of getting the structure and then trying to learn how to code and getting the UI in order, you don't need to struggle with that because the portfolio is already set up for you. All we need you to do is just impute your write-ups and your picture. Finish. Impute your write-up and your picture, and it's quite straightforward. Now, your years of experience. Remember, when I was talking about the 5-step framework, what did I say? The third part was, let it be scannable. Now, I'm going to walk us through, but I just want us to see quickly. If you have 3 seconds. Hi, my name is Christiana, project manager from Canada. I can see her face. If I come down, how many years of experience? 6 years, tools 5, projects completed, okay. I'll come down. I don't even need to read this as a hiring manager. I don't have time for that. I'll just come down. I'll be like, okay, projects. I could click on it and see the first project they've worked on. Okay, they spoke about the business problem. They spoke about the metric they measured. Okay, specialization. Okay, what are they subject matter experts in? Okay, tools. I can see the tools that they have proficiency in. And then I come down, the skill set. Okay, negotiation, experience. What is it doing? Experience. I can see all this. At this point, I'm like, okay, this candidate looks like I can speak to them to the next level or to the next step. Then they now go and look at other people because they don't have time, right? So this is scannable. It's scannable. 3 seconds, you're done. Now let's go step by step. So I introduce myself as a consultant, or rather I position myself as a consultant. You can see my picture. Then the years of experience, the tools I am proficient in, and the project I have completed. We now have the About Me section where I speak extensively about myself. But to be very honest, hiring managers may not have the patience to read through your About section, but it's still fine. Sell yourself really well so that when the number of people they are working with has reduced to 2 or 3 people or 4 people, they can read through your portfolio and see that, okay, this person should be the person we go with. But you have the opportunity to do that. Then the project section, this is where you talk about the projects you have worked on. You talk about the metrics you measured, the impact you created. So remember the PNR framework that I mentioned earlier, which is the problem, or PSR, the problem, the solution, and the result. This is where you talk about it. So the problem you solve, the solution you profile, and the result using the metrics, and then your specialization. So you definitely not meet a mechanic for a headache, just as you not meet a doctor to fix your tire. So what are you a subject matter expert in, or expert in? What should they reach out to you for? You're not for everybody, right? So this is where you list that out. And then my tools. This is where you list out the tools you're proficient in. Now, the beautiful thing about Amdari is that even if you don't know how to make use of any tool, with the projects you work on, you learn how to use tools. And for every tool, or rather for every project that you're working on, you'll be taught how to use the tool required to complete that project. So it's not something that you should really bother yourself with. And then my skill set. So this is where you list out the skill set that you have proficiency in, or that you have gathered over time. And let me just mention, you recall when I mentioned that many times the hiring managers that are recruiting for these roles, they don't exactly understand the technicality involved in your skill. So they depend on what they hear from people or what they've read. Many times what they've read, they see, okay, for somebody to be a good project manager, they need to have project initiation skill, project scheduling skill, risk management skill, cost management skill. So they see these things, and when they now see it on your portfolio, that familiarity, it really makes them happy. They know that, okay, this is somebody we can trust, and really this is what the remaining part of your portfolio looks like. So presenting that kind of portfolio to recruiters or hiring managers during an interview shifts the conversation from, do you have experience, to tell me more about how you solve XYZ problem. So it instantly shifts it. They can clearly see that you know how to solve, you have the experience. And like I said earlier, because they don't understand the technicality involved in your skill set, and maybe when they looked at your portfolio, they were trying to quickly skim through. So when they now invite you to the interviewing room, they know that you have the skill set. So they're curious. Tell them how you did it. Tell them how you solved that money problem, or tell them how you solved that recruitment problem, right? So at that point, in front of the recruiters, you stop being a student. You stop being an aspirant. You're now a consultant that they can trust with their client or their company's data. Their company's data. And I'd love us to meet Anita. Now, for Anita, she made a switch into business analysis from tailoring. She did a boot camp and she had strong transferable skills, but she did not have experience, right? So she kept getting turned back. Oh, I don't have experience. But the beautiful thing about Anita was, after her boot camp, she joined Amdari. And in her time at Amdari, she was able to get the experience that initially was the bane of her existence. Now, this is Anita coming from tailoring. She went from a tailoring background to switching into business analysis. And she came in with a positive attitude, because Anita said during that, see, I'm going to land a role in the next 1 month. And she was able to land that role in 1 month. So I'm going to show you Anita now. Whilst I'm doing that, let me just mention, if you'd love to get a copy of the slide and the recording, kindly fill the attendance form that my colleague has been sharing in the in-call message. So if you want to get the slide and a copy of the recording, please fill the attendance form. So let us see Anita, or let us hear from Anita briefly.
Job offer just a few months, I think about 2 months into the program. So how does that feel? You got a business analyst role. So how does that feel?
Yeah, feels exciting. Yeah, feels exciting.
Yeah. Amazing. That's actually great to know. So what specific skills or experience from this Amdari program would you really say gave you that confidence to ace your interview?
So I would say being in the shoes of a consultant actually helped because you're solving business cases, you're preparing the documentation. So having deeper experiences or having first-hand deeper experiences into creating all the business requirement documentations, using all of those tools, going deeper into business analysis itself was a good one for me. So it just helped prepare me for whatever interview was coming.
Awesome. So what would you say the reaction of the recruiters was like during the interview process? You ended up landing in senior business analyst role, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the reaction like when they saw the quality of the project, or even from you talking about the projects you worked on? What was their reaction like
Yeah. So
as a result of
I,
what you built, the experience you gained, and what you could do?
I could only see a reaction of, okay, this is the girl we are looking for. This is the person we want to work with, right? And that was because having had experience working with those processes as a consultant in Amdari, I was able to defend those projects, talk about the project in depth. I was able to talk about the tools used in the project, cost of the project, benefits, which is everything you would learn and do as a consultant in Amdari. So the only reaction I got was, this is our girl, this is the person we want. Because even at the interview there, they already started asking me how long I needed to give notice in my current job, and then showing me and telling me about the office, what I should expect and all of that. So it was actually it was very encouraging having to know that, okay, you could.
So let me just stop here, but we can hear from Anita that the project she works on helped her build that body of work that he not only made reference to during her interview, but she proved to the hiring managers through her portfolio that she could do the job. So this is the message she sent to her coach when she got the job. She was like, Mama, your girl got a job. It's here. They just sent me an email. So that's the Anita. She was quite excited. And like I mentioned earlier, before she joined Amdari, or wait, the first month she joined Amdari, she kept saying, I'm going to land a job in 1 month. I'm going to land a job in 1 month. And she landed her job in 1 month. So her mindset was right. And she dedicated herself to ensuring that she got the job that she wanted. Now, in August, we had Pedro join us. And by December last year, 2025, Pedro was able to secure himself a visa-sponsored role in the UK. How did this happen? This is the message he sent to his coach. So he's like, hello, Victoria. I received an offer today. Thank you for all your support and encouragement. And then here he says it's 36% more. So he had a salary expectation, but when he finally got his offer letter, they were offering him 36% more than what he had expected. So this is like the complete conversation between Pedro and his coach Victoria. Now, how did he get that visa sponsored job, right? So he got the experience, the work experience through a structured program like Amdari. He packaged himself well. So he had access to his portfolio. So for every project that he worked on whilst in Amdari, he had to document that project on his portfolio. And then he also had his CV in check, his interview sessions were in check, he had his job reference letter, he had the mentorship to learn from and then to really gain from their wealth of experience. And most importantly, he tailored his application for every opportunity that he was going for. He knew where to apply and how to apply. So this is how Pedro was able to secure himself a role, a visa-sponsored role. But when we had a conversation with him, really, it was his body of work. Because nobody will give a visa-sponsored role because of passion. Nobody will do that. Visa sponsorship to even start with is expensive. Companies pay as much as £10,000 to sponsor one person. So if he's not showing them proof, nobody is taking that chance on you. Absolutely nobody. So for Pedro, he was able to position himself as a consultant, as an asset, and land the role that he wanted. Now, in 2026, we are just 10 days into 2026. In 2026, guess what? It will not be kind to the unprepared. You need to prepare yourself for the opportunity that you want. And you need to prepare yourself for that opportunity from today. From today, you need to take action. 2026 will only reward people that are visible, strategically positioned, and show their value. There's a reason why I put that here. You must, one, be visible. People must see you. So with the portfolio that I shared earlier, I know I didn't show you the personalized link, but you will have a personalized link where you can share your portfolio with different, you can share your portfolio across different platforms. So your portfolio gives you that visibility. You're strategically positioned. Maybe you're speaking about the work you're doing on LinkedIn or on Twitter. So you're strategically positioned. Now, that noise you're making attracts people to you. And when they land on your profile, they see your portfolio, they go through your portfolio, they see the work you have done, they're impressed by it, and then they will now extend that invitation to you. We've seen the work you've done, and we would love to see if you're a great fit for our company. So that is really what this means. Now, I know that on this call, you might be asking yourself, where am I on this journey? Am I ready for a job? Or am I supposed to take a course? Where exactly am I? Well, guess what? By the virtue of the fact that you are in this session today, Dari has a free gift for you, and that is our job readiness assessment test. It is completely free. And the beautiful thing about this test is, after taking the test, depending on your result, you also have an opportunity to get a free consultation from our employability team. So we're going to sit down with you, speak with you, and then find out, okay, where exactly are you and what is the next step? Completely free. We call it the clarity session, right? So like I mentioned earlier, if you want to have access to this link, please fill the attendance form that is currently being shared in the in-call message. Make sure you fill it and you have access to this link and all the guidance that it will offer you from basically clicking on it. Now, let's talk about the Dari Work Experience Program. I know that I've spoken in bits and pieces about it, but really, what is the Dari Work Experience Program like? So beyond the internship or the work experience that you get when you join us, you're also entitled to a CV revamp, a LinkedIn optimization session, mentorship sessions that happen every Thursday. So every Thursday in the program, we invite an industry expert to come and speak to you on diverse topics that cuts across how to position yourself in the job market, how to deal with imposter syndrome, how to apply in the hidden job market. So we bring these experts so you can learn from their wealth of experience, and you can also learn from the mistakes they made when they were in your shoes, so you don't repeat it. Now, we also set aside 2 Thursdays in the month where the first Thursday is where we have what we call the mock interview session. During the mock interview session, you have you volunteer to be interviewed live on the call. I'm going to show you a brief demonstration of that session. So you volunteer to be interviewed live on the call. A panel is set up, and in front of everybody in the program, you're interviewed and you're giving real-time feedback. Now, why this is important is because we have cases of people who say things like, oh, I keep getting called for interviews, but the problem is that I never get called back after the interview. Could it be my name? Could it be how I look? And here's the thing. I'm not ruling out the fact that these biases exist, but sometimes it's not a bias. It's a mistake you're making, a mistake that you're not aware of. So sessions like this hold up a mirror to you and show you this is the mistake you're making, and this is the correction that you need to implement to prevent yourself from making this mistake. Now, the next Thursday we have is what we call, or we set aside, what we call the job application sprint. On the job application sprint, under the supervision of your coach, you start applying to jobs. By this time, your CV has been revamped, your LinkedIn has been optimized, so you start applying to jobs. We teach you the framework so that it's easy for you to quickly adapt your CV to the opportunity that you're going for. You can easily tailor it as quick as possible because you have a scalable framework at the back of your palm. Aside from this, you're also entitled to an interview prep session. Now, let me explain the difference between an interview prep session and a mock interview session. For an interview prep session, you have a job coming up, a job interview coming up. You have applied and they've invited you for that interview. So you reach out to your coach and you let them know about it. And your coach now will liaise with the employability specialist and collectively, they will help prepare you for that interview. I love to say that it doesn't matter if the person you're going to meet at the end of the room is a hard nut to crack. One thing is certain, you will grind that nut no matter how hard the nut might be, right? Now, for the interview mock preparation session, you're not preparing for any interview per se. You don't have any job interview coming up. It's you volunteering. We will give you a job description, and then with that job description, we expect you now to go and prepare yourself for it in front of a panel. You do your presentation or you do your interview. Now, with the mock interview session, it's more intrusive. It's more intrusive. It's more in your face. More people are involved in your business, right? But like I said, they're holding up that mirror. But with the interview prep session, it is tailored for every opportunity or every interview that you have coming up. So it doesn't matter if you've done an interview in the past and you now have a new interview coming up. So you feel like, oh, because I did in the past, it does not qualify. No. If you have an interview coming up, let us know and we will work with you, because we know that the preparation you had for interview A is not the same preparation you would use for interview B if you're to get the job, right? So that is the difference. Now, you're also entitled to a job reference letter, even up to 2 years after you're done with Amdari. Now, with this job reference letter, because we encourage you to apply to every opportunity out there, we understand that we have to give you reference letters as many times as you require it. So it's not a one-time thing. If you need a reference letter to apply to any opportunity, you reach out to us. We invite you into the room and we find out, okay, what opportunity are you applying for and how do you want us to sell you? Mind you, no reference letter is the same. So we don't give you generic reference letters. Every reference letter you receive from Amdari is tailored to your skill set and the opportunity that you are going in for. It is tailored. And that's why you have to request for a reference letter as many times as you need it. You're also entitled to on-the-job support. Now, yes, you've gotten the experience and you've landed the job, but sometimes anxiety kicks in. It's something we cannot help. It kicks in. It's a new environment. Now, you have high stakes you're working with. Any mistake could spell doom. So in cases like this, you still have the opportunity to reach out to your coach. Your coach will work with you to ensure that you get all the guidance and all the support that you need to ace, that role that you're currently finding yourself on. Because for us at Amdari, our definition of success is not, oh, they got the job. No, our definition of success is, oh, they are doing well on the job. We don't want somebody to get the job and then in 6 months they are keeping you off the job because you're doing a terrible job. No. We want you to get the job, do so well in the job, get poached from that job, get another one, and excel. That is our definition of success at Amdari. And that is why this on-the-job support is very critical for us. We now have a job board, an exclusive job board. See, applying for a job is a full-time job on its own. That's something that we understand, and it's something that we've gone out of our way to ensure that we help cushion for you. So we don't apply to jobs for you, but one thing is certain. We have put together an exclusive platform where you have exclusive jobs. I feel like I'm using that word too much, but you have exclusive jobs there. We have subscribed to different platforms where we just get the data, we scrape the data directly into a central repository, and then on that central repository, you can see both sponsored and non-sponsored roles. So this is a screenshot of what it looks like. So like I said, it is exclusive. So only consultants within our program have access to this. So only the consultants in our program have access to this. Now, you can see these are visa-sponsored roles, but if you're not so keen on getting a visa-sponsored role, it's still fine. We still have roles that are not visa-sponsored here. Now, the next thing I would love to show you is the message we received from a consultant after his interview prep session. Remember, I said that there's a difference between an interview prep session and a mock interview. So for the interview prep session, he had a personalized interview with his team lead and the employability specialist. And this is the message he dropped. He says, I had an incredibly valuable session yesterday. It provided me clear guidance, practical guidance, clear strategies that helped me understand how to present myself confidently and professionally. The session helped me identify my strengths, improve the way I communicate my experience, and understand how to structure my answers effectively. Most importantly, it has significantly boosted my confidence. I now feel more prepared and more aware of what interviewers are looking for. The session helped me overcome the anxiety I previously had about interviews and gave me the tools I need to approach them with clarity and self-assurance. Overall, the interview preparation session has made a meaningful difference in my readiness to apply for jobs, and I feel far more capable of performing well in upcoming interviews. So this is what this gentleman had to say about the interview prep session that he had the opportunity of being a part of. Now, I'm going to play a mock interview, a sample of a mock interview for you to see what it's like. So let me stop sharing and then we share my screen so we don't have a case of the audio not being audible. So let us see a typical mock interview within Amdari. So
try to improve in that sense.
All right. Thank you.
Mm.
Okay. My final question is: have you used Power Query before?
Power Query, yes, I have.
Okay. Can you tell me what kind of tool is it? I mean, why do you use Power Query? And can you walk me through a project that you did using Power Query?
So the one that we did had to do with customer churn, and we had basically two tables, one indicating customer information, so like where they were from, where the gender, and
so let me just pause here and let's also take note of some things. You can see these tiles on the screen. These are the different consultants currently on the call with him and watching him do his interview. So this is like the interview prep session. And if you hear the question he was responding to, he talked about the interviewer said, have you used Power Query before? And walk me through a project you used. And what did he say? Customer churn and customer churn, and then I forgot what else I heard. But now I'm not going to play everything. We've gotten a sense of that. I want you to hear the feedback he received from his coach.
Question. Exactly. So you derailed from the question, and when you start talking too much, that's when you get derailed. And also when a question is being asked, if you do not understand it, please feel free to ask the interviewer to repeat his or herself.
yeah.
Okay, nobody is
Okay.
going to sanction you for that. No.
Right.
Please, I do not understand. Can you explain? All right, the person will go
Okay,
ahead and
yeah.
explain him or herself. Okay, well, you just go straight to that very question. And also, just as Amina said, right, using the STAR method is very, very important when you're answering a question. Okay, because that will also help you to still be in the line of what you were saying. It was actually the last question that I asked when I said you should give me a scenario-based something, right? That was when you started. You started well along the line. To as if you're about to you flew away again. All right, I lost you again.
Okay, so you can see the feedback she's giving. She's holding up that mirror, and if you paid attention, well, it's quite tiny, so you would not have seen that people are also dropping messages in the chat box for him, so he could also see the mistakes he was making and then how to make the correction. So if you pay attention to how she was giving him the corrections, she wasn't spotting out the mistakes. She was also showing him how to rectify the mistakes that he was making so that he doesn't repeat it in real life interviews. Now, these are more success stories of people that have joined us. You know, you're saying, hi, Jennifer, thank you to the Amdari team. Guess what? I got a job. The past 2 weeks has been busy. And then you're now seeing here, I started getting interviews after joining Amdari. The CV template really helped me. So you can see template, and even when the last speaker, that's the interviewer or the coach was speaking, you heard when she mentioned using the STAR technique. So at Amdari, we also teach you how to use certain frameworks so that regardless of where you find yourself, you can easily adapt, right? So the question now is, where are you? Where are you on your journey? And looking at where you are, what is it costing you to stay there? What exactly is it costing you? Are you going to get another month of, unfortunately, emails from recruiters, or another month of your gap in your CV growing from, you maybe have a gap here of 2 years and then you keep waiting and it's now becoming 1 month, 2 months, 2 months become 12 months, 12 months automatically is a year. Are you going to wait? Or another month of lost salary potential? So you have maybe gone for a master's program or you have sat for a certification and you need to recoup that money. So what is costing you? What is it costing you to stay at the spot that you currently are? I want you to ponder upon that question and to now think about how you can solve, because don't let 2026 be another year of trying. Oh, I tried to apply, I tried to position myself, I tried to be the best in the field. Don't let 2026 be another year of trying. Let it be the year you saw. And see, the beautiful thing about this session and joining today is that we are in Q1, and Q1 is peak hiring season. In Q4, budgets were drawn. Companies sat down and had their strategies. They know the new roles they want to employ for. They have set out money for those roles. So for you now in Q1, all you need to do is position yourself to be seen and to succeed. That is all you need to do. Position yourself for success. So this is not a session that you joined maybe in December of 2026 or in November. No. This is a session you joined in Q1. And by the virtue of the fact that you're still here, I want to hope that it will change the trajectory of how your year will play out. Now, if you would love to join our next cohorts, we are starting on the 7th of February. Interestingly, we had a cohort start today. So we had a cohort start today. They got their onboarding today and they will work on their first project from next week. But if you'd love to join, the next cohort is 7th of February. If you're also interested in joining the cohort that started today, just indicate your interest in the chat box and also fill the attendance form, and we will definitely get right into it to assist you. Now, what does it entail to join Amdari? Now, you just simply have to invest £390 in your future. That's all. Investing £390 in your future. Currently, we are running a discount. So instead of the typical £500 that you would have paid for the full program, you get to pay £390, and you're paying for 3 months, but you're getting an extra month free from us. So you're getting that 4 months of experience. So the beautiful thing is that you can pay multiple installments. So we understand that maybe you don't have $390 to pay, or you don't have money just lying about the place. So you can definitely secure your spot with this discount and pay in installments. And I would love to walk you through how to do that. So let me just walk you through how to make that. Let me just walk you through that. I'm coming. So there's going to be a link that will be shared in the in-call message. When you see that link, you can okay. So when you see that link, you can let me see my screen being shared. Let's see what I see. Great. So if you click on the link that I share, you will be brought to this page. Now, how do you secure your spot with Amdari? You just simply search for Amdari on Google or using the link, and you get to this page. You simply get to the internship programs. So just navigate to the internship programs. And from here, you click on apply for internship. Now, when you click on apply for internship, just scan through. Scan through to find the program that you are interested in. So when you click on the program you're interested in, I just went for data analytics since it's the first one I saw. You now click on apply now. You'll be brought to this page when you click on apply now. And the reason why you're brought to this page is because you don't have a website currently with Amdari. So to fully get in, all you need to do is sign up and you'll be brought to this page. So let me just sign. So I'm going to take questions shortly. Let me just walk you through, and then from here, let me just put my email. I'm here. Let me just put my email, and then let me create my password.
Hi, Christiana. We can't see your
Hello.
face.
Let me see. Is she the only person that can't see my screen? Because I'm sharing my entire screen. Let me see. I am sharing my entire screen. Why can't you see? Wait. You can't see this page? What's going on? I can't see it. Okay, now that's a problem. Let me try sharing. Okay, present something else. Entire screen. Okay. Now, can you see it? I'm not on that page, so you can unmute yourself and let me know.
Yes, I can.
Okay, I wonder why you couldn't see it. I shared my entire screen. Okay, let's just go back to. So if you click on the link that will be shared with you, you'll be brought to this page. Let me just go back to the home page. You'll be brought here. Now on this home page, just come out of here. On this home page, you come to internship programs, and then from here, apply for the internship. Okay, so it's coming up. It's coming up. Why is it taking time? Okay. So you'll see the different courses or the different programs you can apply to. So I'll just click on data analytics since it's the first one I'm seeing. And then from here, you click on apply now. So when you click on apply now, you'll be brought to this page. Because you do not have a program, you don't have an account with Amdari, that's why you're brought here. So to resolve this, just click on sign up. So when you click on sign up, just input your details. I'm just increasing my details now. That's why I'm quiet. Okay. So just input your details, your email. Your phone number is not compulsory. Okay. So I'm creating my password. Now, just to mention, your password has to be, it should contain cap lock, a capital letter, small letter, special character, and numbers, and it should be at least 8 characters. It should at least contain 8 characters. Now you click on I've read the terms and condition, and then you click on create. Okay, let me use another one. Okay. So they'll send you an OTP to your email. Let me check my email. This was sent now. This was sent now, so let me see. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Now from here, you'll be brought to this dashboard. On this dashboard, you pick the program that you are interested in enrolling for. You're coming in for February or you're coming in for March. Then you can also choose the currency you wish to pay in, whether it's GPB, USD, Euro, or Canadian dollars. Now, here's the beautiful thing. If you decide to go for the full-time payment, instead of paying £500, you get to pay £350. That saves you £40 but then if you decide to go for the 2-time installment payment, collectively you're going to pay £390, 3 times £390. For the full time, you just get to pay £350. So let's look at the 2-time installment payment, or let's go for the 3-time. Now you now click on apply discount, because remember I said that we are running a discount. So instead of 500, you're going for 390 or 350. So you apply the discount, and then from here, you just have an overview of your name and everything. So this is just them confirming everything. Now, your next payment date, if you pay today is 10th. So if you pay today, the next time you're going to pay will be 1 month from now. So if you don't want it to be 1 month from now, you just simply need to click on edit date, and then you can so you have a grace period of 1 extra month, so till the end of the month. So instead of 10th, that's 10th of February, you now have the opportunity to pay on the 28th of February. So you save that. And everything is quite straightforward. Now, on no account should you remove this this discount that's running, because if you remove this discount, it is £500 you're going to pay. Now, I know I keep mentioning pounds, so depending on where you are, your currency will definitely reflect the equivalent. So you now click on I confirm that my information is correct. I have read the terms and conditions, then pay now. So you'll be brought to this payment platform is going there. So on this payment platform, my email is there, and then you put in your card details. So I'll just put in my card details. And then I have so depending on what I said I was going to pay, it's there. So it's automatic. So you just put in the name on your card, where you are situated. So let's put and then you can decide to do that, but it's not compulsory. So just pay. Once you make your payments, you will now be redirected to this platform. Now you can go to your dashboard. On your dashboard here, to help set up your profile, you select the program that you, say it was Data Analytics I went for, select the program, you select your proficiency level, the country that you're currently resident in, what influenced, okay, your gender, select your gender, but it's actually not compulsory. The ones that compulsory have stars on them. And then how did you find out about Amdari? You just put that there. What influenced your decision? You can put what influenced, maybe it's a friend, family or friend, something you watched, you can put that there. And then what session influenced your decision? By the virtue of the fact that you're joining the Saturday info session, you just simply put that there, and then you add the referral code if you have anyone. But since there's no referral code here, you just click on complete setup. From here, you'll be brought to this dashboard. Now, because you've not worked on any project yet, this dashboard is empty. However, on this dashboard, you have the opportunity to book a consultation for an office hour. So for every session that you have with Andari, there will be a recording. But if for any reason you miss a session, you can book an office hour to catch up with your coach. So this is where the office hour booking comes from. And then the roadmap. So with this roadmap, you get to know where you are at each point in your journey. So for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, you can see that roadmap. Still here, you can request for a reference letter here. That's what happens here. Request an interview prep session. And then if for any reason you have a complaint, something you're not satisfied with, you can lodge your complaint here and we will definitely attend to it. So you just lodge your complaint here. So that's that. Then my internship program. So you've enrolled for the program. You want to understand everything about the program, the tools you'll be using, what you'll be doing, the kind of projects you'll be working on. So this is where you get to read on all that. It's quite lengthy. If not, I would have read through this for you, but it's quite lengthy. So you just can have a sense of what to expect. And then my recording. So I just created this platform. So the drop-in sessions are not there. There are no recordings, but when you eventually start taking sessions and then you start seeing the recordings, they will be here. Now, the next thing I would love to show you is the billing section. Now, on this section, you have a snapshot of what's going on. So I've made my first payment, and I can now see from here that the next payment is going to happen on the 27th of February. And here, this is the total amount I'm going to pay. This is the total I have paid, and this is the total unpaid, overdue. So if you're late on payment, you also see from here. Now, this also gives you a snapshot of where your next payment is coming up. So you've paid this first one, 10th of January. We have 27th of February, and then we now have 29th of March. So upcoming, you know when you're going to make your next payment. So it's quite straightforward. Now, the next thing I would love to take advantage of is the job board. Since we are here, I want to show you what the job board looks like. So I mentioned that only consultants within the program have access to the job board. Now you can see I just created this account and I have instant access to it. So you can start applying to opportunities here. And then, like I said, you can apply for both sponsored and non-sponsored roles. So these roles are not sponsored. But let me show you a visa sponsored role so you can tell. So for visa sponsored roles, they have tags on them. So when you see these tags, you know that yes, these are visa sponsored roles. So this is what I want to show you. I've already shown you what the portfolio looks like. And let me just mention, I just realized I didn't mention it. So for the portfolio, you have a personalized link, and it's a lifetime portfolio. This is your personalized link. Okay, I'll need to create my portfolio. I'll need to add my details. But you have a personalized link, and it's a lifetime portfolio. So even after you're done with the program, nobody restricts your access. It is yours for life. It's yours for life. So really, that's what the payment structure is like. That's what the payment structure is like. I will take questions shortly. Let me just round up by saying, why exactly do our consultants thrive better in the job market? They thrive better because they work in cross-functional teams. They master industry tools. They gain hands-on experience with projects. They get real-time feedback from experts in the field. They have a portfolio to showcase their projects. The portfolio that I walked you through, the portfolio that I showed you how to design, and most importantly, they receive a globally recognized reference letter. And like I mentioned earlier, you can request for this reference letter as many times as you need it. So you are set up for success. Now, like I said, if you want to have access to this slide, kindly fill the attendance form that my colleague has been sharing in the chat box. So if you also look here, we have sneak peeks to some of the projects that our consultants have worked on. So if you're interested in looking at the project they've worked on, I won't read everything, but you can see here, optimizing order fulfillment, navigating the digital landscape, enhancing brand reputation with cutting-edge social media monitoring. This for data analysis. For data science, we have case study, real-time energy load forecasting systems with Grid Flux Energy Limited. And then you can see all this. And these projects are in collaboration from our business partners. So we have business partners like Credly and others that we have, come together to design this project so that you have that real world experience that you can make reference to. You also have business analysis, so product performance analysis of subscription plans in a fitness app. For project management, we have stakeholder management, planning and executing a hospital compliance audit. You click here, you get access to this project, and then we still have projects from SOC analysis and GRC, ethical hacking. So this is really it. If you want to have access to this slide, like I mentioned earlier, kindly fill the in-call message. Was this sharing? Jennifer, could you see this? Could you see this? Or could anybody see this? Or can anybody see this part of my screen where it has ethical hacking projects?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. So thank you so much for staying till the end of the call. If you have any question, we could just take the next 10 to 15 minutes to answer your question. So hi, Samson, your hand had been raised up since the beginning of the session. Okay, let me answer Shegun. Can somebody, I'm coming, let me just look at the messages I'm receiving. Hi, Ibrahim, I'll get to you. Let me just answer the question in the in-call message first. So can someone who doesn't have any experience or knowledge in using the tools required in data analytics run the internship too? So for someone who does not have any knowledge, with any experience or knowledge, yes. For someone who does not have any knowledge, I want to assume that you've not taken a course before, right? If you've not taken a course before, you don't have any foundational knowledge, then Amdari is not the place for you for now. And that's because we are a work experience program and you're going to be working on projects on the go. I know that I didn't show this, but let me just show you something. Now, if you had said that you have taken a course and maybe it's been a while you took the course, so you're still trying to, what's going on? Okay, sorry. Let me see, I'm trying to share my screen. Great. So if you had said, oh, I've taken a course and the course I have taken, let me just stop. Sorry, let me just stop this recording at once.